You're telling me that I could live on chocolate, smoothies, and goji berries and maca daily? And the answer is yes. I've been doing it for 7 years, just those things, let alone all the stuff I did before. People, I mean, there's all this rhetoric out there about cacao. How many people have heard that? They're all wrong. How would they know? They don't even use it. I'm telling you. I love those guys, and they're good friends of mine, but they don't know because they don't even eat the stuff. How would anybody know anything about a food if you don't eat it? Look, I ate Fruit Loops. I know what it does. Oh, yeah, let's bring this up. Cacao, come on. I'm growing these trees now. This is a chocolate tree. Look at that tree. First of all, what kind of fruit tree has the fruit coming off the trunk of the tree? Have you ever heard of this? And then you break these things open, and there's about 30 cacao beans in each one. And one of the things I love about what Chad is doing is that they have the cacao with the fruit on it still. That's a serious, it's a natural chocolate bar. You eat that, you're like, wait, it's the sweet and the chocolate, and it's already there. Original as it is. That's how nature presents it to us. People, I mean, I had years people tell me, oh, I didn't know you have to like do some kind of processing with chocolate or some kind of something. I'm like, really? So I started going to Hawaii and eating the cacao raw as it is, eating the whole thing, the fruit, the nut, everything. And I was like, people don't know. They just don't know. I mean, we always are suffering from that. You know, the only disease that's incurable, ignorance. It's the only disease that's incurable. And when you put arrogance and ignorance together, uh-oh. Whoa. Over the years, I mean, you start seeing patterns that work. If you blast somebody with wheatgrass until there's projectile emissions out of every orifice of their body, it's like, you know, whoa, we got to like slow down that one. Right? But you start feeding people chocolate drinks here and there, and they go, I love my mom, I love my dad, everything is good. These superfoods, right? Chocolate, when you crack into the physiology of what this stuff does, it is absolutely shocking. It is shocking as compared to an almond. Because this is a nut. That is a nut. It's the most widely eaten nut in the world that nobody is actually eating because they're eating some kind of processed byproduct from factories called chocolate bars or quick. That was, I mean, it's amazing that we survived it. It really is. And now we get to find out what the truth is. And that is, if you look at any, you've seen it on the news, it's all over the place. If you look at any from any angle, you see that they're pointing, there's something in chocolate that's really good for you. What would that be? The sugar? The genetically modified soy lecithin? Is that the thing that's good for us in there? What is it exactly? It's cacao, which is the nut, otherwise known as cocoa. C-O-C-O-A. Like Cocoa Beach. Why was it called Cocoa Beach? Because that's where they brought all the cacao in from Cuba. Yeah. Yep, the closest place, by the way, to the continental United States you can really grow a big production. You can actually grow it in South Florida. But the closest place you can get a big production is Cuba. And Hawaii, of course, but that's pretty far away. And so they used to grow, the U.S. used to buy, Milton Hershey bought all his cacao from Cuba. In fact, he built an entire city in Cuba that's still there. And it's a replica of Hershey, Pennsylvania. How many people knew that? I mean, what? And then the thing about it is, what was he after? What's coming in from Cuba? It's this nut. It's not a bean, actually. It's called a cacao bean, but it's really a nut, like an almond, a walnut, a pecan, a cashew. It's really a nut. And that nut is the most nutrient-dense food substance in the world. So what I'm saying is, like, we all know that, okay, it's like protein powders and this and that, all this stuff, like vitamin pills and mineral supplements and all that. Where that has all come to is, how do we get all of that from food? That's what everybody wants. That's what they tell me they want. They've been telling me they wanted that for years. And yeah, I eat only organic food. You know, I grow my own food as much as I possibly can. I eat wild food. But I know that when I go to a health food store, I know that that organic food is definitely the best choice in that store. But it is not powerful enough. It's not rich enough. It's not mineral rich enough. I can tell because my appetite doesn't shut off very quickly. That's a big thing. People say, you know, why do we have an overweight problem in America? It's because the food has no minerals in it, so your body doesn't ever get what it needs, like magnesium or iron, and it just keeps going. We got to keep eating this stuff because we got to find something in here. So when I eat out of my garden, I have one little salad like this. I'm like, oh, I'm done for like 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 hours. But you know, I come here and it's like I'm like, uh-oh, I'm still hungry, but I just got to stop anyway. Even organic food. How do we get past that? This is where superfoods come in. Because there are foods, and really what they are, and I want you to hear me on this, they are the greatest gifts of the ancient civilizations that have preceded us. So when you start looking at cacao, what is cacao? Where does it come from? It comes from Mexico. It was the greatest food in Mexico City for 5,000 years. But if you start looking at the legend and lore and mythology of cacao in Mexico City, it is so mind-blowing, it's so mind-bending. It's like, why weren't we taught this in school? I mean, how come we never learned anything about this? I mean, they loved it so much. Do we have any pictures of any cacao beans? That would be good to put up here. Because if we could put cacao beans up here, this was their money, their currency. They used that, like, instead of coins, it was chocolate. So if there's inflation, you just eat the money. They figured that out. And you remember those coins when you were a kid? We're going to do questions and answers. We're going to do so many questions and answers. By the way, if you got a pen and paper, write your questions down. We're going to cover it. I'm going to bring everybody up here.